Shall I tell you all one wonderful secret today? While you're thinking that you're good for nothing and you're really not up to the mark and you feel so worthless or worth nothing, there are people who are right now envious of the way you are and you deal with life, and of course they admire you. You need to understand that while you're being so self-critical and so judgmental about your own actions and all that you're doing in life, there are people who are actually admiring you right now, and they feel that you are such a wonderful person. I mean, always we forget that we need to appreciate ourselves as well. I know being self-critical is good, and sometimes we may cross the line of difference between ego and self-esteem or pride. But then we also need to understand that constantly being harsh on yourself or constantly being self-critical, or for that matter, being very judgmental about your own self is also not good. Sometimes I really feel that compassion, when it comes to dealing with our own emotions and our own feelings, is so underrated in our own eyes. I mean, we hardly take out the time and we hardly give it a thought that we too deserve some compassion by our own self. I mean, we are always ready, to be there for others. We feel, we have the empathy, but when it comes to our own things, we are like, we go in a track that, we feel that, oh, self pity is bad. We consider self compassion as self pity, which is wrong actually if you give it a thought. And yes, in today's video, I will be discussing why it is not good to judge yourself, and how we do not realize that many of our sufferings in life is so much self-inflicted. I mean, we are on the self-help mode all the time when it comes to miseries and sufferings. It's like we don't wait for the situation sometimes to come and disturb us, or we do not wait for people to bring in sufferings in our life. We are well equipped in creating these sufferings, and that is, as I said, very self-inflicted, because somewhere we are constantly judging ourselves to an extent that we are causing a certain kind of sufferings in our life. And maybe we are not doing it consciously, maybe we are not even realizing that we are harming ourselves. But yes, it's high time we acknowledge that something like this is happening, and we also have to think about ways in which we avoid being so judgmental about our own actions and words at times in life. Hi, I'm Vaishnavi, and my channel is Homemaking Motivation. And apart from showing how to keep the house clean and organized, I also make contents on subjects that are related to mental health. So if you're new to this channel and you like such kind of contents, then please do consider to subscribe to my channel. And if you're already a part of this beautiful community, then please welcome back. So without any further ado, let's get into the video, and let us know what is in today's content. Let me present a scenario in front of you, and that is like, you have organized an event at your place. Obviously you're the hostess of that event, so you have this kind of responsibility that everything should be in place, everything should be perfect, the food should be good, the guests must have a good time and then go home. And obviously, as I said, because you're the hostess, you have this huge responsibility. But then when you do that and you do not realize that, taking all the stress on yourself and just holding yourself responsible for the entire event can cause you to come under that stress, and you may not perform well as a hostess. So you need to keep that in mind. Although you recognize that it is your role that is going to be the main in the event, you should also acknowledge that it is not just you who is carrying on the event, it is also the other family members who are equally responsible, since it is a teamwork. So this is very important for us to know when it comes to a small event or a big event, whatever that we organize in life. Now just compare this scenario with your entire life. I mean, our life is just like that event, and we are the hostess in that event. Now if I start taking all the stress on myself, and I start behaving under that stress, although I know it is my life, I am the main character, I am the one who has to be answerable, responsible for whatever that happens in my life. I also need to acknowledge that this life doesn't happen just because of me. It happens because of the people involved in my life, who are kind of, it's a teamwork again in the life. And this is what I need to realize. Rather than putting myself in the the center of the event, or this being the main character of my life, sometimes some situations it is very necessary I also become an audience to all this. I need to witness what is happening around me, rather than always trying to come under the stress and saying that I need to perform well, I need to perform well, I need to be good, I need to do this. Sometimes it is so necessary that you detach yourself from your role and be an audience in your own life. It is necessary, because when you do so, when you detach yourself and you see things as they are, or you see things as an audience in your own life, that is when you realize that you don't have to judge yourself constantly, or you don't have to put that kind of amount of stress on yourself all the time. It will also give you the scope to acknowledge the contributions of all others in your life as well. So that is so important. Although you should take responsibility of all the things that you are handling, but it is also necessary that you become the audience in certain situations in life, because that will save you from judging yourself constantly. As long as we keep judging ourselves, and as long as we put ourselves in that kind of stress that I need to perform well, I need to do this, sometimes we may not perform well in life. Sometimes we may come under that pressure, we may come under that self-inflicted stress to perform well. So yes, in order to avoid this kind of stress, in order to avoid not performing well in your duties, it is very important that you also become an audience. Sometimes you also detach yourself and go back and just watch yourself without being judgmental of what's happening around you. So yes, this is very important, and we shouldn't forget that we need to be audience sometimes in our own life. You know what? Sometimes we get into the zone wherein we start thinking about what people are thinking about us. I mean, you can't deny this fact. Everyone has come across such feelings. Like, for example, let me take a very small example. Like, even if I'm wearing something, anything that I'm wearing for an occasion or something, uh, although I am comfortable, I am admiring myself. Oh yeah, well, fine, I can carry myself very well, and I'm looking good. The color is suiting me, and all those things. Although I am very happy about what I'm wearing, somewhere in the corner of my mind, I'm like, when I go there, what will be her reaction? What she might be thinking? Or what will people say? Is this color suiting me? It's like we start thinking what they are thinking about us, rather than enjoying being in what we are happy about. We start thinking about others more. What are they thinking about us? What will they comment about us? So in the process, when we start trying to be the mind readers, in the process what happens is we start judging ourselves, indirectly. Although we were happy initially, wearing whatever we wanted, but during the process, what we do is, since we start thinking that the other person is thinking this way, we ultimately come down to a level where we start judging ourselves as well. And yeah, this is very common thing, but we need to avoid this. We need to avoid this, because it is not just about your it's not just about your attire, it's not just about what you're wearing for an event. It can also go to the extent of what you're actually doing in life. So when you are doing your duty, when you are performing your things in life very productively, and you're being very good, when you are satisfied, then don't get into your the in that kind of uh, zone wherein you start thinking about like what people are thinking about you. Because understand one thing, you can't please everyone. So even if you're doing the best right now, maybe it is like nothing in the eyes of somebody. So you need to first understand your true value, and when you understand that, just stick to it. Like, okay, fine, I am doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm happy doing this, and I am being productive. If that satisfaction is in your mind, then please maintain that. Do not try to disturb it by thinking that, okay, fine, I'm happy with myself, but what about others? Are they happy with me? It is good that you think about being productive and being good to others. That is a different thing. But then trying to allow that you thought to overpower your performance is something that you are putting yourself in a great loss. So you need to be aware, because when you allow that to happen, the next immediate step is that you will start judging yourself as well. So never look at yourself with the viewpoint of others. Others have different perception. What you think about yourself is firstly very important, and whatever you think about yourself needs to be positive, and that is also important. So don't judge yourself unnecessarily, and don't try to think that I may not be worth it, just because I think they feel that I may not be performing well, or I may not be doing my duty. So you don't even know the reality, because you cannot get into their minds, or they are not going to come and tell you directly like, oh look Vaishnavi, you're not performing well. Oh look Vaishnavi, you're not doing properly. Nobody is going to come and tell. So why should I have my own imagination? As long as I am being honest to my efforts, and I'm being honest to all the duties that's given to me, I think I should be just happy, and I should not disturb myself by judging myself based on the perceptions of others, which you're not even sure like whether they really think like that about you or not. So yes, can you understand how self-inflicted sometimes our sufferings are? Here is a case wherein and it actually happens. It's not just like something imaginary. It actually happens. We actually undergo all these things wherein we are not even sure whether they really think like that about us. We have just cooked it up in our mind based on their gestures, based on their talks or attitude towards us. And all these things, when they come into our mind, then we also stoop down to the level of judging ourselves. We are ready to judge. Okay, fine, maybe if they're thinking like that, yeah, maybe I think, yeah, maybe that is true, right? You will come to that extent also. So it is better not to get into all those things. When you do that, it is like you are lowering your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth in many ways. So always avoid the mind reading stuff that we usually get engaged in, and just be happy with what you're doing. Just be sincere with what you're doing, and then you're bound to be happy with what you're doing. Let's get one thing very straight in our mind and understand one thing very properly, and that is we cannot please everyone in life. This is so much sure. Like, no matter how much efforts you put, they have their own perception and they have their own expectations. And in the process, they will also judge you. Others will judge you. Others will comment on you. So when you have already an environment which judges you at every step, at every phase, at every actions that you actually want to take, and you're sure that this is going to happen, then I think at least you should be good to yourself, right? At least you should be compassionate to yourself, right? Because when you know that yes, you can't please everyone, and you will be subject to criticism, and you will be questioned. So at that point of time, when you realize that yes, the world is like this, and even I myself, I may not be an exception, right? I may not be happy with certain people. I also will be judging them. So this is something that has happened to everyone, and it happens with everyone everywhere. So when we know that we are subject to all sorts of judgments already from the people, that is externally we are already being judged, then at least we should be good to ourselves. At least we should spare ourselves from being judgmental about our own things, right? So that is the reason why we need to be our own cheerleader. We need to keep telling ourselves that yes, you are performing well, you are doing well, you are being productive. Such positive affirmation, such positive self talks will also build our confidence. So when we really feel that we have hit the rock bottom, we are really feeling very low, it is at that time when we should stop judging ourselves, at least at that time, because that is when we really need ourselves the most. We need to be our own best friend, we need to be our own cheerleader. We need to tell that, okay, fine, I'm not saying that you are the best all the time. Even though you're not performing well, I'm not saying that you should keep telling yourself, oh, you're the best, you're the best. No. When you feel that you are not being the best version of yourself, of course you should sit down and talk to yourself, and not being harsh, not judging again. You should not judge yourself or be harsh on yourself, but you need to just sit down with yourself and show that kind of compassion and be your own cheerleader. That will just boost you up again, and that will make you take up things all over again. So always keep in mind that there are enough people to judge you, there are enough people to pass comments on you. At least you yourself, you be good to yourself. I mean, you don't judge your own self. So that is one thing that we need to keep in our mind, and that is we need to be our own huge and the best cheerleader in life. Life is beautiful. It may be challenging, it may be a little irritating at times, who knows? It can be anything. Life can be anything for a given moment, but when you really think about life, it is beautiful. It is such a gift to be alive, it is such a gift to be born on earth. So always keep in mind that we are here to experience things, we are here to enjoy the privilege, the gifts that are given to us, we are here to enjoy it. So let us not create things in our own mind and have that self-inflicted sufferings. And yes, we should stop judging ourselves. It's high time. Compassion is something that we can give to ourselves, but not judge. The urge to judge ourselves is something that we should not have in our option at all. So always keep in mind that whenever you feel like being self-critical, as I said, is a good thing, but constantly judging yourself and constantly having your own imagination about the situation, and then creating the suffering in your own mind is something that can be avoided. Because yes, life is beautiful, just see what it is in reality, rather than having your own imaginations and having your own self-inflicted sufferings in life. So let's keep all these things in mind, and I hope you liked today's content. And if you liked it, then please hit the like button and also share your valuable feedback in the comment section. So until next time, stay positive, stay intelligent, and stop judging yourself. So thanks for watching this video.